everybody. Welcome back for another episode of Real Housewives of New York. You know, this episode was a little blah to me, but we're still going to talk about it. So, the episode opens up with Ebony at the boxing rink again, and she's there with her man, Martin. And Martin starts saying about how good she looks. And she's like, he says, "How old are you?" She's like, "I'm 37. And then he said, "You look like you're in your 20s. And here comes Ebony's first black reference of the episode. "You know, black don't crack." What? You never heard that before? So then we cut over to Luann's house, and Luann has Ramona over, and she's going to throw Ramona a birthday party because Ramona's always throwing her own birthday parties, and it's just more enjoyable when someone throws it for you. So, but you know, it's not gonna be 75 friends, maybe just 12. So then we cut back to Sonja arriving at the rink, and Martin asks her, "Have you ever heard of black don't crack?" "Well, you know, blonde don't crack, blah, blah, you know, blonde does crack." Like, that's off topic, Sonja. You know, but she's back for more Sonja empowerment. So then we cut back to Lou and Ramona talking about the mourning, how Ramona never mourned her brother's loss. And then, of course, let's get to the main event. Let's talk about Sonja's drinking. You know, she really has a problem, blah, blah, blah. And you know how that is, because they flash back to Luann's incident with the cops that she kind of really downplays. But like, Luann, had you not been a rich white woman, you would have been in jail or maybe dead. So then we, you know, cut back to Sonja talking about her daddy issues, and, you know, all that made her who she is. That's why I'm such a comedian. Okay, you're a comedian now. Then they flash back with Sonja pulling up to Bershawn because she was all like, "You are not going to get out of my face. You calling a clown, bitch." Yeah, and so, you know, Abby reveals that she's working out to find out, you know, more about her father. And she mentions that there's a woman named Ashley who might be her sister, and then they're going to get a blood test. And so, you know what? I often wonder if some of these storylines had already happened because it just seemed too familiar. Like, did you decide to do this before filming? We're going to talk about this because it just seems like you probably already did it. So then we cut back to Luann mentions that she's going to do a Christmas record. "Luann, you're not a singer. Like, man, this cabaret really went to her head. People don't go see you at the cabaret because, oh, Luann can really sing and throw on a good show. They're going to see you at the cabaret because you're a real housewife. That's why, that's all." So, you know, she just let it go to her head. Anyhow, but did you happen to see Luann on Watch What Happens Live? She looked really beautiful, and I've always said, like, "Luann, you should grow your hair out," because when she had that shag little look for years, it wasn't a good look. So anyhow, we cut to see Ebony talking to her potential sister Ashley, and they're talking about the little, you know, like, Ebony mentions that the little family that she has is dwindling. And I kind of understand that feeling from the standpoint, I don't have a little family. I have people around me. But when I lived away for many years in Chicago, I just felt like I'm all alone. Like, you have your friends, but on holidays, your friends go with their family. And sometimes you get invited, but not. So I can empathize with Ebony on that. So, you know, they're talking about how this guy who's potentially the father was in Louisiana, and he never showed up when he said he would. Basically, he was a deadbeat. He was a deadbeat to both of them. Though Ashley knew he was her father, he wasn't really necessarily there for her at all times. So, you know, side note, it's just weird to me. And this is a little judgy and maybe an unpopular opinion, but women who get pregnant and don't know who the father is, that just says you were sleeping with multiple people around the same time, which is kind of weird to me, kind of cringy to me. Like, you don't know who the daddy of your child is. But I mean, I guess sometimes it bees that way. No judgments, I guess, but a little bit of judgment. Anyhow, Leah and Lou meet up for coffee. They discuss that, you know, the Christmas song they're gonna do. Leah in her confessional is concerned because legally we have to protect ourselves. Then Luann mentions that, you know, she and Garth are done. No, they're on a break. Like Ross and Rachel, they're on a break. So, but we didn't really see that was going to be like a long-term relationship. Or I didn't, at least. Did you think that was going to be long-term? I mean, like, Garth is like 20 years younger or so, whatever. And so they come back, and they come back from commercial, and Luann is, you know, setting up this makeshift bootleg recording studio in her living room. I was like, why y'all go in the bathroom? I mean, I get it. All those cameras couldn't fit in the bathroom. But it's like, the acoustics, like, I'm no recording genius, but the acoustics of a living room. And I know they had that little guy over there doing audio on his laptop. But whatever. I mean, the acoustics, it's just a bootleg operation. So Ramona arrives, and as rude as always, she totally doesn't acknowledge the other people in the room. Like, Luann has to say, well, here's Billy. You know, she has no home training at all. Like, she totally didn't recognize Brian over there. Oh, Brian, you're so quiet, blah, blah, blah. So, I mean, again, so she gets on the mic, and because, you know, this production is so bootleg. Like, Brian's over in the corner, his laptop is placed on a chair. And then Ramona gets on a mic. Okay, Ramona, we want you to say, what do I want for Christmas? Just you. What do I want for Christmas? Just you. One more time from the top. What do I want for Christmas? Just you. Okay, can Mariah Carey sue them for like kind of remixing her song? Like, Ramona's takes were so awkward, almost as awkward as her runway walk seasons ago. So then Sonja comes in and she sings, and she always takes it to a sexual place. She said, oh, I like diamonds and panties. Like, it says diamonds and parties. So then Ebony shows up in her pageantry way, like, oh, you know, I'm no Whitney Houston. That's not it. I'm not her. That's not me. So she does her thing. She sings it as you would expect Ebony to sing it. What do you want for Christmas? Just you. Then Leah comes in and she gets it popping. Luann gets defensive because Leah wants to know I need that paperwork. And, you know, Luann's defensive, like, I'm trustworthy. This is going to charity. And basically Billy says, look, Leah, this is a donation. Get on the mic. So she goes on. She sings her line. She sings the very Julie Andrews-like, and it's actually kind of nice. She has a pleasant voice, whatever. I don't know. I can't wait to hear this song put together because right now it just doesn't sound, it sounds whatever. It's not going to be a hit. It's not going to be Mariah Carey famous. So then we come back. Time for Ramona's party. Get it? Ramona. Sonja and Ramona. Sonja and Ramona. So Bershawn is dancing as Sonja's explaining. Like, why is Bershawn dancing? Like, I don't hear music. As Sonja's explaining why she's not drinking with these ladies. Then they cut to Ramona and Lucy and basically let's wait an hour because she'll be drinking once the guys show up. And when Leah comes in, okay, I decide I can forgive Bershawn because they forgave me after I almost burned down Ramona's backyard with tiki huts. So then this new model arrives from Luann's house, from her party. They never really invite age-appropriate men. Have you noticed that? Like, was Harry Dubin not available? Like, they always invite these young guys. So then they start discussing the new model's penis, and Ebony said, it was real chubby and nice, you know. Okay. So then Dylan, another model, comes in who just can't seem to keep his hands out of his hair. And Ramona is secretive about how she knows him. She's like, we met through people. I'm getting real escort vibes from Dylan. I'm just saying. So then more men come in with a lazy strip tease. And my question is, I get a feeling those guys were from production. Like, let's bring production in and do a lazy strip tease. And then Leah starts doing her little tacky lap dance. And I'm like, oh, okay, Leah's doing a lap dance. Sidebar, who do you think is tackier, Giselle or Leah? Okay, moving on. So Sonja does, like they said, have a drink. You see her pouring a shot into a drink. So obviously she's drinking probably vodka because it's clear. Or maybe gin, I don't know. Maybe even some clear rum, but I'm thinking it's vodka. So then Bershawn is like getting all flirty with the new model, asking him things, and they start talking about vaginas and vulvas. The vulva is the whole thing, everybody. The vagina gets all the credit, but the vulva is the whole thing. So then Ebony mentions that, here we go, second reference of the night. She did good. She's only done it twice. This is her second one. And she's having a black Shabbat. And Bershawn walks in, and Ebony's like, ooh, wasn't gonna really invite her, but so this is awkward. It seemed fake awkward, but, you know. So Ramona says, why does it have to be a black Shabbat? It's my birthday. I don't want to be lectured. I don't want to talk about this. Then Ebony, it's a black Shabbat. She's Jewish and she's been oppressed. It's a black Shabbat. We can relate. Black Shabbat, oppression, Jews. Let me find out this is a Hebrew Israelite party. Anyhow, Ebony says, you're not invited because of COVID and like my black friends who are actually really coming. Rashawn they cut back to the Harlem Nights party. Rashawn's like, after that Harlem Nights party, I'm good. So then Leah and her two ponytails brings up the song again to Luann. Girl, you have nothing to say at this point. Why? Because you already sang on the track. So your legal thing is out the roof. But Luann is always like trying to put people beneath her in their place, in a place. Don't overstep your boundaries. Leah says, I can step wherever I want to. Luann says, lure her up, baby. Then Leah wants to know, where is your scooter? No, really, she's like, no, where is the money being donated? And so they hash it out. And then, you know, they're like, I'm sorry. Hey, y'all, did y'all notice that everybody was wearing gold? They didn't mention that it was a gold theme, but it was a gold theme. So we cut back and they bring out the cakes. And Leah was responsible for the cakes. They're like, oh, God, why'd you let Leah get the cakes? And, of course, it's shock value, as they always do. It's a vagina cake and a penis cake. And Ramona's like, a vagina cake and a penis cake? I don't know which one I want. I think I'll take the penis cake. So then, you know, they do that, and Leah goes back to Luann talking about, we just have to protect each other. I trust you. Did you know there's a black guy in the background jerking his head like this? Like, that was one of the strippers who was probably production. I don't know. Like, these extras they have are ridiculous. So then the episode ends with Ramona slyly giving her number to the guy. And she didn't think cameras were watching. She gave her address. Like, you got my address? Here you go. So tell me what you thought about last night's episode. Was Ramona about to go on a date? Were these guys escorts? Like and subscribe, and I'll see you later. Bye.